Hello again. Mania TV switches its attention to Stamford Bridge this weekend as Liverpool try to put their worst display under Rafa Benitez out of their system. The trouble is, for them at least, they play Chelsea on Sunday in what is said to be a huge contest. Our chief sports writer, Martin Lipton, is the man who will be there, just as he was when Carlo Ancelotti's men beat Apoel Nicosia in Cyprus on Wednesday night. He sent us this report.
Chelsea won here in Nicosia on Wednesday night, but no one could pretend it was a good performance. They lack craft, they lack quality. They seem to lack the intensity that's required, the things you've come to expect from Chelsea. And it means that Sunday's game against Liverpool is increasingly difficult, increasingly pressurised for Carlo Ancelotti and his players. Simply, once again, as the manager accepted, this was not good enough. Ancelotti slaughtered his players in the dressing room. He's not happy. He's not even trying to pretend that he is happy. It's a worrying sign. Twice in 4 days now, Ancelotti has been very angry with his players. His team have not performed. It's started to become worryingly reminiscent of last season. It makes Sunday's game against Liverpool even more crucial for the Blues. They have to perform. They have to go out and play. They have to show that they're genuine contenders.
Thanks, Martin. Remember, you can see full match reaction of Chelsea's game against Liverpool in Monday morning's Mania pullout in the Daily Mirror and continuing updates on the Mirror Football website on Sunday afternoon. Now, Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United side are at home to Sunderland this weekend, but although they'll be without Michael Owen, the injury that he limped off with the other night against Wolfsburg is not as bad as first feared. Here's what the United manager had to say this morning.
We'll clear up the Michael Owen thing, and we don't think it's as bad as we thought at all. I think it was a bit of precaution attached to it. And he would be available for next week. I don't think it's a 3-week job or anything like that. I think he'll be available for the next game against Bolton. We're quite pleased with that. I think that obviously, for Michael's part, that there's a bit of precaution about it, but understandable, given his history with it. But we're quite comfortable with it. And when he missed the training session, maybe we should have just left him. But he wanted to play, and I wanted to play him. So it's not a great issue for us. It's not a big problem for us either. I think it'll be okay.
Sir Alex Ferguson speaking there. Now, one match that won't be in Monday morning's Mania pullout is Aston Villa versus Manchester City. That's because Gareth Barry goes back to his old club on Monday night. Now, our Midlands reporter James Nursey is going to be a busy boy this weekend. He's going to be there and at Wolves against Portsmouth on Saturday. All sorts of problems for Portsmouth at the moment, with the club confirming today that they've got absolutely no money left and have only just managed to pay the players for this month. Also the owner, Suleiman Al Fahim, in hospital for an operation on his kidney stone. So much for James to get into. James joins us on the line now. Hello, James.
Hello, Darren. How are you?
Now, I'm going to start with the Wolves game, James, because Portsmouth, can they get their first win of the season finally, or will the pressure really increase on Paul Hart?
I think they'll be good enough for a point, Darren, but I think they may have to wait a little longer for their first win of the season. They were unlucky, of course, at home to Everton to lose that game last weekend. The performances are improving as the signings are settling in, but Wolves are quite formidable as they proved in the Championship last season, and should be good enough for at least to draw.
Yeah, as for the Villa game, what sort of reception do you think Gareth Barry is going to get from his old fans?
Well, I think the initial reaction when he left was that Villa fans were disgusted that he went to City, because, of course, he said he wanted to go to a team with Champions League football when he left Aston Villa. So I think a lot of fans will boo him. But at the same time, there are fans who appreciate he was at Villa for a decade and served them well. So a bit of a mixed reaction from Mr. Barry, but I think there'll definitely be some boos emanating from the crowd.
Finally, James, a score prediction from you?
Well, I think Villa will slump to defeat at home to Man City. I can see them going down 2-1. They were poor up against Blackburn with only 10 men, so City, who are in form and looking good, will probably win that one. As regards the game at Molineux, I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Thank you, James Nursey, our man in the Midlands there. Now, time for a quick look at the big games in the Championship. Can Roy Keane finally get his first win as Ipswich boss away to Barnsley? Here's Ollie with the Championship preview.
Well, Dan, it looks to be another action-packed weekend in the Championship coming up, following on from the week's results. It suggests it's going to be another topsy-turvy season. West Bromwich Albion travelled to Deepdale as second take on third. Preston are running well, but West Brom lost in the week to Barnsley, who crept out of the relegation zone. And Roy Keane's side host them, Ipswich, looking for their first win of the season. It's going to be tricky. Elsewhere, table toppers Newcastle, who managed a late draw against QPR, thanks to Marlon Harewood's first goal for the club, host Bristol City. And I'll be at Watford, where Malky Mackay's side will be trying to stop free-scoring Cardiff, who are currently 5th. Back to you.
Thanks, Ollie. Now, time for a couple of your messages. And quite a few of you Spurs fans not that convinced by Robbie Keane's 4 goals against Burnley last week. Dean Russell's one of a number of Spurs fans who have emailed into Mirror Football to say that although Keane scored 4 against Burnley last weekend, he still wants Peter Crouch back in the side against Bolton because he holds the ball up better. You Spurs fans are a really tough crowd. Lawrence Josana thinks Manchester United will win the title from the front now that they've gone top of the Premier League. And still you keep asking about that Chelsea versus Liverpool trailer that we showed you earlier in the week. Alex showed you on, I think it was Tuesday. Can we show some more? Let me ask the boss, can we show them some more? Oh, go on then. Brilliant. I think we might get those guys to do a trailer for us for Football Spy in January. Now, for most people, Saturday is normally shopping day. Not for Arsene Wenger, though. Well, actually, there isn't really a shopping day for the Arsenal boss at all, as he doesn't like to spend money, as you know. But he did have a great win over Olympiacos in the Champions League in midweek. Now, we're going to see if they can continue their fine Premier League form at home to Blackburn. John Cross is going to try and predict the result for us. Morning, John.
Very good morning, there.
Now, this should, in theory, be a fairly straightforward win for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think so. I think Arsenal should win. I think they've been sort of blessed with a couple of good home games now, which you would expect them to take 3 points from after 2 really difficult trips to Manchester, which yielded nothing. So, I think it's one of those games where Arsenal would expect to play their good football, try and put on a show, and perhaps, get a comfortable home win and really get back in amongst the big boys at the top.
Blackburn's approach has been a bit physical in the past. Do you think they may have changed it a bit?
Well, I think Allardyce, of course, coined the really physical approach at Bolton, didn't he? He was very direct. He really flung balls in the box. He sort of built his teams that way. I think, though, if you look now at the Blackburn team, he has tweaked it slightly. I think he is playing a little bit more football. And I think, De Santo on loan from Chelsea's had a good start. Juve is obviously a player who detracts controversy, but he's a good footballer. And I think, yes, he has tweaked it slightly. So I do think, particularly also with David Dunn, I think it'll be a good contest.
And finally, a score prediction as always?
I'm going to go Arsenal to win 2-1.
Thanks, John. Enjoy the game. And that's it for another Mania TV. Remember to get your You The Manager teams in for the weekend's action. I'm back with a roundup of all the action on Monday. But until then, enjoy your football.